The Royal Guard commander challenged me to a duel. I simply said, I accept. The courtyard of the alien citadel buzzed with whispers as I stepped into the circle of polished obsidian tiles. 100 armored soldiers stood in formation, their spears raised high. Above us, banners depicting a golden dragon rippled in the wind, the emblem of the royal family whose lives I had saved only a week prior. But none of that mattered now, because standing across from me was Commander Xyler, the highest-ranking warrior in the Royal Guard, known across the stars as a blade of Asterion. His armor shimmered with energy, plate of crimson, and gold forged from metals humans had no name for. His twin blades were already drawn, humming faintly as if alive. He had challenged me, a human outsider, to single combat, and I accepted. You do not belong here. Human, Xyler's voice boomed to the courtyard, carrying authority that silenced even the wind. You may have earned the Queen's favor, but you do not belong among us. I will prove it with your blood. I tightened my grip on my sword, a simple steel blade, relic of Earth's past wars, unadorned and plain compared to his weapons. You want to prove something? I said, my voice calm, almost casual. Then come prove it. The alien nobles gasped. Their culture revered duels as sacred rituals. Accepting without hesitation was unheard of, especially from an off-worlder. From the balcony above, Queen Serena herself leaned forward, her emerald eyes glowing faintly. I felt her gaze on me, curious, almost conflicted. She had ordered me to stay out of trouble. Too late for that. The first clash. A single gong rang out. Xyler moved first. He blurred forward faster than I could follow, his twin blades crossing toward my throat. I barely managed to parry one strike. Sparks flying, the impact reverberating through my arms. The second blade slashed low. I rolled aside, narrowly avoiding losing a leg. He's faster than anyone I've ever fought. Xyler spun, bringing his blades down in an overhead strike. I raised my sword to block. Too slow. The alien strike cleaved a groove into the obsidian tiles where I had stood a heartbeat earlier. The crowd roared. Is this the human who dared claim honor among us? One noble jeered. He will not last 10 heartbeats. Another sneered. I ignored them. Focused. Breathed. Why do you fight? Between strikes, Xyler spoke. Do you even know why you fight, human? Why do you risk your life against me? Because you challenge me, I said simply, deflecting another blow. That is not reason enough. His blades came faster now, a whirlwind of gold and crimson. You fight without honor, without purpose. I fight, I grunted, parrying and stepping inside his guard, because someone has to prove you wrong. My elbow smashed into his chest plate. He staggered, surprised. For the first time, a murmur rippled through the crowd. The turning tide. Xyler's eyes narrowed. You are skilled, he admitted, circling me like a predator. But skill alone cannot overcome destiny. He pressed a button on his gauntlet. His armor flared to life, energy shields forming around him. His movement became even faster, almost a blur. Every strike now felt like a thunderbolt. My arms screamed from the force of parrying blow after blow. My blade chipped. Blood dripped from a cut on my cheek. He was overpowering me. And yet, I smiled. Why do you grin, human? Xyler growled. Because, I said, shifting my stance, I finally see an opening. The gambit. I let him press me, step by step, toward the edge of the circle. The crowd thought I was faltering. They cheered for Commander, chanting his name. Xyler lunged, both blades thrust forward. Instead of parrying, I sidestepped at the last second. His momentum carried him forward, just enough. I brought my sword down in a two-handed strike. Steel met energy. His shield flickered. Cracked. Gasps erupted from the audience. You! Xyler hissed, retreating a step. Not done yet, I interrupted. I feinted high, then swept low, kicking his leg out from under him. He stumbled. One blade flew from his grip, clattering across the tiles. For the first time, the blade of Asterion looked unsure. The final blow. Breathing hard, both of us bloodied, we circled once more. You fight like no one I've ever faced, Xyler admitted. His voice was quieter now, almost respectful. Tell me who trained you? I shrugged. No one. I just refused to lose. A brief silence. Then he charged. I met him head on. Steel clashed against alien alloy. Sparks lit the courtyard like falling stars. We locked blades, faces inches apart, teeth gritted in effort. Then, timing it perfectly, I released my blade, grabbed his wrist, and drove my shoulder into his chest. He stumbled backward. I caught my sword midair and pressed at his throat. Silence. Then the gong sounded. Do you yield? The words hung in the air. Xyler panted, glaring at me, then slowly lowered his remaining blade. I yield, he said, voice steady despite his defeat. The human has won. Gasps. Cries of disbelief. Some nobles shouted in outrage. Others stared in awe. Above us, Queen Serenia rose to her feet. Her voice cut through the chaos like a blade. Enough. The courtyard fell silent instantly. She descended the stairs, her emerald gown trailing behind her. Stopping before me, she studied my bloodied face. Her expression was unreadable, until, to everyone's shock, she inclined her head slightly. You have proven yourself, she said softly, not just in battle, but in honor. I lowered my sword, bowed slightly. Thank you, Your Majesty. Aftermath. As healers rushed in, Xyler approached me, not as an enemy, but as a fellow warrior. He extended a hand. I misjudge you, he said simply. No outsider has ever stood against me and lived. You have my respect. I clasped his forearm, and you have mine. The crowd erupted again, this time in cheers, not jeers. For the first time since I had set foot on this alien world, I wasn't just a stranger. I was one of them. Epilogue, a different kind of war. That duel changed everything. From that day on, the nobles who had scorned me began to bow as I passed. The soldiers who once mocked me now trained beside me. And Queen Serenia? She began looking at me differently, less as an outsider, more as an equal. The war wasn't over. Greater battles still loomed beyond the stars. But for now, I had earned a place among them. And perhaps, just perhaps, something more than honor awaited me in Queen's emerald gaze.